So hi there and welcome to Budget Model Railways, and I wanted to get back to, well, Budget Model Railways really. So I was quite taken recently with the triple pack of Hornby goods wagons. The only trouble is they're something like £21 for three. And so I went through and had a look in my drawers and saw what I could find. And I've ended up with this nice little rake of wagons. And that little lot has cost me less than £5. And I'll show you how we've done this. But I wanted to just show you these. They're quite nicely detailed and painted up. That's an old Lima one. The others are the very early Hornby Triang. And that's a little Triang brake van that I've painted up. And let me show you how all these started. So what we started with are these products. Now these, I've had two so far. They cost me £2 each. They're the old, again, Hornby Triang. They run quite smooth. Do make sure when you're buying these that you get the ones with the more modern tension lock couplings, not the old half hook. So that cost me £2, and that painted up then becomes that, which I'm quite pleased with for £2. Now these goods wagons, you can get these quite easily because they nearly always lose their roofs. There must have been no way of holding them on, and most that I see have no roofs. So these actually came from Richard for 20p each. I've paid 50p for them. That one was £1.50, so that was a Lima one, but it was Smith's Crisps or something, and I've repainted it. But you can pick these up for around 50p or £1, and it's relatively easy, and I'll show you how to do it in a minute. I just add roofs, a plastic card, and then a bit of a paint job, and you're away, and you've got a goods wagon for about £1, which is really what we're talking about at Budget Model Railways. So let's show you how we do the roofs. So here we are doing roofs. Now interesting, last night I had a look on eBay and I found 2 or 3 people selling these wagons around £1 each, something like that, because they've got no roofs. So they are readily available. So here we go, we've got no roof. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this. This is the thinnest plastic sheet you can get. I think it's called 10 thou. Now if you don't have plastic sheet or you can't afford it, because this is about £1, £2 a sheet, you can, I've used in the past, ordinary thin cardboard, cereal packet cardboard. It just doesn't give you quite as nice a finish, but if you haven't got this, and even having to buy this spread over, this will do, I don't know, 30 wagons, so it doesn't add very much to the cost. So relatively simple. I need to know that I want that about 67 long, and then to do the roof, you just roll the ruler over, like that, and I know from the last one I've got it marked out here, it's about 34. So we're just going to mark this out. Just check that again. I think we said 67. Yeah, always measure twice, cut once. The old craftsman's adage. And I'm just showing this because not everybody knows how to mark something out. It's relatively simple. And because this is so thin, you can use a straight edge and a knife. You can use straight edge and a knife because it's so, but as it's so thin, it's actually just as easy to use a big sharp pair of scissors. So that's got your roof, and then I just need to show you what I'm going to do now. Get something that's rounded, and I'm just going to roll this over it gently and around it. And what that will begin to do is give us the curved effect that we need to do the roof. Just keep doing it, it'll get sort of pliable. You can do, obviously if you want, if you've got a bigger former, you can tape it to it, run it under a hot tap and all that, but actually you can see there that that's working like that. And what we'll do in a moment is we'll get some glue, which is up in your drawer, and glue it on. No. Okay, so what we're going to do is just use plastic glue. Now I don't know if you can see that, but that's giving us the curve on the roof, and we need a little bit of masking tape. You do need to make sure, don't overdo the glue, because it will melt through the thin card. So what I tend to do is when I've done that, I get the Mark 1 spreader, and I do that. Now we're going to use a little bit of this, front and rear, like that. Gently put the roof on, make sure We're happy with where it is. A little bit of wriggling around. And then we're just going to put the tape down like that. So it does move around a little bit. You do need to jiggle it. There we go. That's better. And then all that's going to do is just hold that in place while it dries. There you go. And then when that's done, that's quite a nice little roof. You can do it whatever size, however much overhang you want, but I don't like too much. And then it's just got to be painted. So we'll show you that next. So what we've done now, we've got our roof stuck on there, as you can see. Nice and simple, nothing complicated about those. And equally, nothing too complicated about what we're going to do next. We're just going to get this. This happens to be Tamiya flat brown, because it's what I've got in the cupboard. I like either the Tamiya paints or the Hornby. They're called RC, which I'm assuming means railway colour. And they both cover quite well. And as you can see, this goes on. Generally, I find if you've given the paint a good mix, you only need one coat, because we're trying to make them look a little bit well used. But if you need to use 2 coats, it's no big problem. This Tamiya paint in particular is quite quick drying. And I guess you don't really need to see me do the whole wagon, you get the idea. So that's that one, that's all we're going to do. And when we've done that, we'll get a wagon that looks like that, all painted up. There's one I did earlier, just to do my old Blue Peter bit, for those that remember that. Now, so the next thing to do is paint the roofs. Now they are white, and I find that it does help to have a bit of an undercoat. But what I've done with these to give the finish on the roofs that I want, that lovely dark sort of grey, is I've used black instead of a grey or something like that, because what that does is give depth to the colour. And again, relatively simple. I'm not too worried about the paint job as such, because this is just going to be an undercoat. And this happens to be, again, Tamiya semi-gloss black paint. The reason I'm using these is purely because I went to the model shop in Woodchurch in Kent, which is well worth a look if you're that way. And they had all these old Tamiya paints at 50p each, instead of the £2 odd that they normally are. And so I bought a load, and they happen to be blacks and browns, which are quite useful. And what I'm going to do here very carefully is just do the edge of the roof. So there we go, that's the roofs painted and dry, and with the other paintwork. And then what we've got here is, this is just Humbrol acrylic paint. This happens to be dark sea grey, and we're going to just simply paint that over. Now I found last time this dries really nicely. I've discovered no great secret. I've got a bit of hair there. No great secret. The real answer as well is to have a really nice, good quality soft brush when you're doing such small areas, and then that will just cover like that.
And I will have to voice over this.
We've got a bit of rain coming, so we're nearly done there. You can see how smooth the finish is, and we'll do the other one. Okay, so the rain's stopped now, so you can hear what we're doing. So we've done one roof there. I'm just going to quickly finish the other roof, and I think I was just saying there that the important thing was to get a nice soft good quality brush, which makes a lot of difference with these paints. And you can see the lovely satin finish on that one. There we go, so that's that. And then what I'll do now quickly, you've got a couple of choices. If you have a look at that one, that's probably the sort of quality you'd get from, you know, some kits that are unweathered, but I do like to just briefly weather them. Now you can use a very light brown paint to do this if you want to make it look like road dirt. I like to pick the detail out. So what I've just got a very pale coloured emulsion there. I don't even use model paints, but I have got, this was a stencil brush. So this came with like a stenciling kit, and the trick is to try and get it, yeah, so there's almost nothing on it. And then basically am I in shot there? Basically, you're just drawing it across the surface, and what that will do is just pick out things like the rivet detail, which is really what I'm trying to do it for. That's worked quite well. And you just have to keep taking a little bit of paint, dabbing it off, dabbing it on something just to see, and then you just see that. And I just want to pick out the rivet detail, and it just makes it look a bit muckier. That's coming off a little bit white there. Just across the running gear to pick out. There's lots of really nice detail on these. There you go. And you can see it just picks the rivets out. And then what I do is I just muck a little bit on the roofs just to take the sheen off. A very dry one. And there we go. And then we'll do that one later when it's dry. And that then's giving you quite a nice wagon. That wagon's cost me 50p. And even if you allow for buying card and things, plastic card and paints, I'm still going to end up with a rake of wagons for about £5–6 in total. So about the same as buying one new wagon. So there we go. Let us know what you think. It is a little one that a lot of people can do because these wagons are quite readily available. Unlike some of the cheap stuff we get, you can find them easily on second-hand shops and swap meets and on eBay, and that makes really quite a nice little wagon. So as always, thank you for watching. Like, comment and subscribe. Hi, thanks for watching the video and for the nice comments. Click on the left for a previous video in this series, click on the right for another video you might enjoy, and please don't forget to click to subscribe, like, comment, etc. Thanks again.